Page 37, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Very famous melody. It's a round. A round is when you can have different people singing the same song but at slightly different times. It's like one person will start singing the first line is an introduction, forget that. Second line where the words are, they'll start singing that. And then as they start the third line, then another person starts the first at the beginning. They're doing it at the same time. That's a round. Yeah, they're fun to do. Let's look the piece over. It's 5 lines long, a little longer now. Treble and bass clef, 3/4 time. We're only counting to 3 now. So there's only 3 beats in a measure. And we got quarter notes, dotted half notes. Half notes, we can handle all that. Some tied, okay. This first line is an introduction. We haven't gotten into forms in music yet. An introduction is just it's not really part of the piece. Well, in some cases it is, but a lot of cases it's not part of the piece. It's just a little bit of music before you start the piece to set the mood and the atmosphere, and that's all that's for. So that's the first line. So the song is really where the words are, the 4 lines there. You could play this without the first line just fine. You don't need in this piece. As I said before, some pieces the introduction is important, but in a lot of pieces, it's not. So let's take the right hand first, make sure we have the notes and rhythms and all. The right hand comes in on the 3rd measure, and again, we're in C position. We got that chord, broken C chord, and then the G7 chord here. And then in the second line, where it starts, 1, 2, 3. Remember the dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes. It's 3 counts. 1, 2. So work out the right hand, and then for the left hand, at the beginning, it's a broken C chord again. Okay, in the second line, it's a blocked C chord. And that puppy is tied all the way across the line. So this is how you chain them together. Because you can only tie 2 notes at a time, so they simply have curved lines every 2 notes. You play the first one at the beginning of the line, and you hold it down for 4 measures. Second line's the same thing. Wasn't that hard, huh? And then the third line, you get the quarter notes. Okay. Put the hands together. For the introduction or the first line is just broken C chords. And then here, together. Remember, you're holding the left hand down. Now play both. Hold the left hand down. 2, 3, tie 2. See there, you're holding both hands down. And then the 4th line down is quarter notes. You get the idea. And then the last 2 measures at the bottom, those are tied, so you hold that down for 6 counts. Okay. So much for the notes and rhythms. And then as far as the articulation goes, you can follow their slurs. Connect all the first line together. And then for the second line, you see the slur across the second line above the staff. It goes on to the end of the line. It's like it goes on to nowhere. Well, if you look at the 3rd line, that curve comes from nowhere. This is how they connect a curved line between multiple lines. It means it's one long curved line. They're telling you that the 2nd and 3rd lines are all connected. The curved line goes across both lines. So you connect it all. And that's a phrase. And that's one musical thought. And then at the end of the 3rd line, then you lift up, like taking a breath. Then the last 2 lines, the curved line is per line. So it ends at the line. So you lift up at the end of the line. Here, like taking a breath. And that's sort of the articulation. It's hard to do when I go that fast. But the idea is the 2nd and 3rd lines is all connected. Then the dynamics, well, MF, moderately loud, mezzo forte. There's no melody here, so it's both hands. And then in the second line, they give a P under the bottom staff. I wish they wouldn't do that. You don't need the P. You can cross it out. They're simply telling you to play the left hand soft. Well, I'm already telling you that. Bring out the melody. So the top staff, that's the melody. That's MF still. That's because that's where you were. You're moderately loud there. The left hand you keep in the background. So however soft you got to play it, we want to hear the melody. So I'm heavier here and lighter here at the same time. And then in the fourth line, it's all melody, all MF. And then at the end, you're soft on the chord again. So you bring out the melody, play the melody louder than the other. And that doesn't mean you play the melody loud so you can bring it out. It means you play the melody where it tells you to, here moderately loud, and you play everything else softer than it. You got to practice to learn to play the piano really, really soft sometimes. As far as the speed goes, you're actually feeling this in one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because it goes that quick. It's not a problem till you get to the fourth line and all quarter notes. But yeah, work on that. It has to be accurate. So if you can't be accurate and play it that fast, then slow it down. It's more important to be accurate than it is to be fast. And then finally, they've added pedal. So let's talk the pedal. They're only doing it in the introduction, and you don't need it in the introduction. You don't need it in this piece at all. The introduction, the idea is to establish the mood of the piece. And when you have this, you've established the harmony. You got it in your head. But when you add pedal and add all those overtones, it changes it so much. In my opinion, it's really inappropriate. But they've added it, so let's use it. We got an excuse, I guess. So at the beginning, when we use pedal, now they actually have the lines almost correct, because I'm going to push the note down first and then the pedal. So it's just real quick, and it's not done rhythmically or anything. It's just the pedal goes down right after I push the note. I want to start the sound before I start the overtones. Here. Then I'm going to hold it down for the first three measures, and right after I play the last measure, I'm going to lift it up. So the pedal is lagging behind what the hands are doing. So the first line is here. So I play the chord first and then lift the pedal up. This ensures there's always sound. I can connect because I have the pedal down. And that's what I'm after. But I don't want to mix the harmonies. I don't want to mix a 1 chord with a 5/7 chord. They sound fine separate, but together, it's like, ugh. So we don't want to mix them. So because we changed the harmony, we're going to do something with the pedal. In this case, we're going to lift it up. But we lift it up after we play the chord. And that little overlap, the ear doesn't mind. It's okay. We do this overlap a lot. Please don't copy me. You read the music and you get it worked out for you. You don't have to go that speed. You take it at your speed, whatever it is, but be accurate. Let's play it together very slowly to double check all the notes and the rhythms. I'm tempted not to use the pedal, but I want you to see the pedal and how it's working in relation to the hand. So I'll go ahead and use the pedal because it's actually easier to hear the notes if I don't use the pedal. But I'll go ahead and use the pedal. I'll give us 3 counts. Now let's try it together slowly. Now I'm not doing any dynamics. I'm going to play everything about the same. Now keep in mind with the pedal, you're using it at the beginning, but leave your foot on the pedal through the whole piece. Don't put your foot on and take it off, put it on. Just, if you're going to use it at all, just put it on the pedal for the whole piece and leave it there. 1, ready, go. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.